Hello, my name is Dave Walker, and for those of you who don't know me, I actually refer to myself like 5 or 6 years ago as being an obese, socially isolated, clinically depressed, functioning alcoholic. So, quite the mouthful. As you could probably tell by the tone of my voice today, that I'm in a much better place today. And I thought that for Bell's Let's Talk Day, so I've been inspired by, in Canada, we have a company, Bell Canada, that is sponsoring people to come forward and talk about their stories about how they have dealt with mental illness. In my case, I've decided to do more than just talk. I want to talk about the walk. So I have been able to go through a significant change since I became aware that I had a mental illness, and I actually wasn't aware I had a mental illness, so I actually got through it without even knowing it. So all the more important for me to share my story with everyone. So I've been inspired today to talk about that story. I'm calling it Let's Walk the Talk, Together and Not Alone. And part of the problem for me was I had isolated myself and I was alone, and that's why I got into that nasty place. I wrote a book about it. So my book is called Mondays Don't Have to Suck: How Small Changes Can Make a Huge Difference. So once I finally decided to start walking, I actually started crawling. So crawling and walking. So in my book, I talk about the first part of my life and how I ended up in what I refer to as that nasty place. So that takes up about 7 or 8 chapters. It took some time and effort to get there. Then I got really stuck, and then one day I decided, I'd fallen as low as I could go. It was time to start getting out of there. That's when I decided to start crawling out. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, because I couldn't have done it by myself. I was the one who finally decided I wanted to crawl out and get out of there. But when I started, there was others who helped me out. Some real leaders, so real people stepped up in my life and helped me, even though it was up to me to move forward, but they were there to support me. And I'd like to share that story with you today. You can read about the details of how I got there. You can read the details of how I got out by reading my book. But I did want to just highlight just some of the leaders and some of the people there who were helping me out. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And I'm trying to keep this under 9 minutes. And for those of you who are familiar with some of my stories, I like top 5 lists and top 6 lists. In this case, I've got a top 7 list. I'm going to share 7 different groups of leaders and how they helped me out. So here we go. Going back to that day where I didn't know what to do. I was so depressed. I was so stuck. I had fallen so far. The only thing I could think of, I wasn't scared anymore. I couldn't fall any further. I was just going to go quit my job, because I was convinced my job had a huge part with it. There was not a good fit there anymore. I was in a terrible place. So I decided that was it. So I went to see the partner who had hired me previously, about 15 years before that, to tell her that I was falling on my sword. Before I had the chance to even do that, she had said, "You know what, Dave, I've noticed that you're not in a good place these days, and I've been thinking about you. And I've identified an opportunity for you in another role in the organization. I've lined up a meeting with that leader. The plane tickets are there for yours if you'd like to. If you give it a try, I'll get you back on your feet. You can look for something else." So I decided to take that. Now, this is somebody in their own group, was giving up somebody in their own group to help them out. So that was my leadership story number 1. So that was the first step. Leader number 2 was that leader that she put me in touch with. And that leader, it's almost as if he had trusted me from the get-go and was allowing me to do the things that I thought could bring the most value to the organization and the program, and acknowledging me and compliment me on that. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I started getting my confidence back. I started getting my passion back. And when it was time to move on for another project, I jumped into another one that really was a wrong fit. Within a day, I'd realized it, reached back out to him. And again, he found me somewhere else to go. But I trusted in him. I trusted in myself not to go down that slippery slope again. And again, he was there to help me out, to spend that extra time to find a better fit for me. The leaders what I'm calling number 3, is actually 2 leaders who were the co-leaders of one of the programs that I got into. Again, the support that they provided me. I remember doing something one time that got somebody extremely irritated, and they came out there and announced that to pretty much the world via email. And just having one of those leaders come in and just say, "Hold on a second, Dave, that got the passion got the better of him. He didn't mean to do anything. Yay, let's give him a break. Let's congratulate him for going out there and getting out of his comfort zone. So knowing that somebody had my back was huge and gave me the courage to keep moving forward and not being afraid. So once I had finished up on that group, it went on to another group, another leader again, who had the courage to connect with me and to communicate with me, and to, even when he was frustrated at times. I remember once saying, Dave, you have the exact opposite communication style of mine. That's why I enjoy working with you, but sometimes you drive me nuts. So, discussing that and him being able to share that with me, and he probably shared it with me about 5 or 6 other times. I didn't hear it, but to actually continue that thing instead of just ignoring me and letting me go, made me aware of what my communication style was, and to try and adapt to other people as well, which helped me moving forward and connecting with you even more. Once I was finished with him, it was off to another program. And this program and a lot of the programs meant me dealing with some pretty senior people in the firm that I work with, one of the largest professional services organization in the world. And I was terrified and scared of connecting with the executives, and that was the program. And I remember once smoking a cigarette. I used to smoke in the days. So terrified to go into this one group meeting with a whole bunch of partners, and the senior leader one who'd been in the firm a long time. I remember smoking a cigarette in one shot. I was so stressed out. So in I went. At least I had the courage to get in there. I'm starting to get my courage back up there. And there he was. There was that guy and that partner, that senior partner, and the gray hair and the whole bit. And he just came over and said, Dave, I hear you're from the program. I've got a place at the table next to me. You're going to get to sit next to the old guy. And just made me feel so welcome and introducing me to the others. And I realized that they were all people, and they were coming over there and they wanted to know about the program. So again, just such a huge boost to my self-confidence, to allowing me to fit in, the way that the people were going out of their way to help me out, having my back, helping me with the self-confidence, introducing me to other people, taking care of me. It really helped me out. And then I got on to another program. And again, this program, it wasn't just the leaders in there by seniority, but all kinds of other leaders, people who were so excited about this program, the passion to be with all these, the passion and the positivity. And they say you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. So I was starting to hang around some very passionate other people as well. And that was rubbing off on me, and my passion was coming back and allowing me to move forward with more courage. And when I'd run into some areas where I didn't have as much passion, I was more aware of it, and I would steer away from those and keep moving towards where the right fit and passion was for me. And all that led up to the point where it was time, I'd been on my programs for 5 years. I was back on my feet. I had a lot of the courage and the confidence, and I said, I'm not going to do what I did the last time and follow my sword. I'm going to look for my next role. And I went and connected with a lot of folks and got a lot of feedback. And I decided it was time for me to move on and start my own business. I was going to start my own business for the first time. I was going to be doing coaching, which I'd never done before, and storytelling and the whole bit. And it was their courage and their confidence that allowed me to get there. And as I've been moving forward over the last 3 years, my last group of leaders that I wanted to highlight, number 7, was my colleagues and my peers and my friends and my clients who were reaching out and encouraging me and acknowledging me. And that has helped so much as well. So again, I'm sharing all that with you so that if there's people in your network that you see are a little bit down right now, that you can go help them out as well. These are some of the ways that you can do it. It's up to them to do it. They're the ones who are going to have to get up, and they're the ones who are going to start moving out, but you can really help them out by inspiring them and empowering them and accompanying through there. By using I'm hoping that some of the ways that some of these leaders in my life did that are some of the ways that you can use as well to help some of the others out. I am so grateful and thankful for all these people. They've had such a huge impact on my life. I've shared those stories and those details. I'm a big fan of sharing real life stories because it makes the theory real in my book. So if you have a chance to take a look at that and get some ideas of your own, I hope I've inspired you with some here. I'm looking forward to hearing other ways that others have inspired as well. So I'm over my 9 minutes. So thank you very much for spending the time. Thanks to Bell for sponsoring this event, and thanks for all the other people who are out there and sharing and caring as well, and helping make this a better place 1 out of 4 people are going to go through mental illness through their lives. I like to say, look to your left, look to your right, look in the mirror. The chances are pretty good you've got maybe 1, 2, or more in your life. So hopefully this will help you help them help themselves. Cheers and thanks.